All right, guys. So RFK just endorsed Donald Trump, and we're gonna check it out. Check out what he said.
RFK Jr. is spoiling Kamala's post-DNC party. He's dropping out of the race for president and endorsing Donald Trump for president.
In my heart, I no longer believe that I have a realistic path to electoral victory. The chronic disease crisis was one of the primary reasons for my running for president, along with ending censorship in the Ukraine war. It's the reason I've made the heart-wrenching decision to suspend my campaign and to support President Trump. We are aligned on many key issues. In those meetings, he suggested that we join forces as a unity party.
RFK Jr. is in the same state as Donald Trump, Arizona, and the former president has been teasing that a special guest will be joining him later at a rally tonight in Phoenix. Earlier, Trump offering nothing but praise for RFK.
We just had a very nice endorsement from RFK Jr., Bobby. We're going to be going to Arizona. We'll be talking about that and a lot of other things too. But I just want to thank everybody, and I want to thank Bobby. That was very nice. That was really very nice. That's big. He's a great guy, respected by everybody.
Yeah, so I didn't know RFK, they called him Bobby. That's the first time I hear of this. But yeah, man, I could have seen this coming. I think everyone else could have too, just because RFK is just way more aligned with Trump than he is with Kamala. But I think it's a good thing, because he was talking about just cleaning up the food. He was talking about chronic illness, which I think is actually important because people don't know what they're eating. I think this is something that's important to me as well. Just because if you read the ingredients, like on anything, like on like a tortilla, there's like 20 ingredients. On a tortilla, it should be like one ingredient, maybe two. But there's just all these things, especially in fast food. There's all these ingredients. There's like 40 something ingredients in Chick-fil-A, and people just are eating it all the time, and they think it's healthy. Same thing with Chipotle, because they use seed oils. They cook in seed oils, and these are the things that RFK was talking about that give you cancer and that give you like all these autoimmune disorders, and people just eat it blindly. There's this app that I use. It's called Yuka, and you guys can download it, scan anything you want, and it tells you if it's good or bad and everything like that. It's Yuka, not a sponsor, just I use it all the time. I think everyone should, and so you can actually know what you're eating. And what you're putting on your body, like deodorant or shampoo or anything. Anyway.
Hey, Jesse, what was most interesting about RFK's speech was how he literally took down the Democrat Party as the party of censorship, the party that did everything to, negate free speech, that sued him, that fought him, that ridiculed him, that engaged in lawfare. He makes a decision, though, to drop out only in the primary states, it seems. So will that little bit help Donald Trump?
The Trump campaign's saying this helps Trump. They're saying in the 7 battlegrounds he was polling between 3% and 5%. And if those votes now go away, they say Trump gets about 60% of those compared to what Harris would have gotten. And that translates to this, Judge, and this is big. In Arizona, that would mean 41,000 additional votes towards Donald Trump. That's like a lot. Huge. Bigger than the margin last time. Right. In Georgia, almost 20,000 more votes for Donald Trump. You remember how tight these margins are. These little shifts can really play a big role. Apparently, he went to the Harris campaign and flirted with them and said, hey, you want an endorsement? Because, maybe I could get a cabinet position. And then she just went dark. So we went to the Trump campaign. I don't know if he's going to get a cabinet position. Knowing Trump, he may dangle something and then never give it, or give him something and, Trump likes the action. That could be interesting to see RFK Jr. in a Trump administration.
I hope they actually do give him control of this, especially for the food, but also I think CIA and anything like that. Someone needs to fix it, especially the food, man. We got to fix the food.
But Harris is saying, it's no big deal. That's not true. The numbers speak for themselves.
Well, Katie, Harris refused to meet with
All right, join us now, the former governor of Arkansas and 2016 presidential candidate, the great Mike Huckabee. Governor, good to see you. Thanks for being with us. Again, this presidential cycle is wild. You know, you wait a day or a week and things are changing all the time. But it's interesting because I think that RFK is running against the system, whether it's, the government, big food, big government, big military. And so, too, is Donald Trump. I have to believe that this is a measurable endorsement that we'll see in the polls.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is my friend because he recognizes that the government is corrupt to the bone. And the reason that the establishment of Washington hates Donald Trump so much is because he's not one of them. Neither is RFK Jr. And I think it's interesting that the degree to which they hate Trump is part of the reason they don't like him either. They don't control him. I don't agree with everything that RFK Jr. does, but I've met with him, I've talked with him. I got nothing but respect for him because even on areas where we disagree, I'm going to tell you something. He's a person of courage and conviction. He doesn't take political convenience positions. He takes positions that he really believes in, and he does his homework. So I'm thrilled that he's decided to support President Trump. I think it will help Trump win the election. And right now we need all the help we can get. And I hope President Trump puts him in a position in the cabinet that will give him the opportunity to do exactly what he really wants to do, and that's root out some of the evil that exists in our deep state. It's disgusting. It steps all over people. And if you want to unify this country, let's unify this country for ordinary working class people against the folks who are in the donor class who have run this system for a long time and have doggone near destroyed it.
Yeah, Governor,
Yeah, guys. I really do think, RFK he would have been a good president, just because he cares about the right things, like the food and like all these underlying things that people just forget about, and just because there's so much money behind them that the media hasn't gave room for anyone to talk about it, because everyone is okay with it just being like, all right, whatever, who cares what we eat, this, and it's our fault too, but man, yeah, I think that's a big issue, is that everybody is sick in the US. There's just so much obesity, so much, people are not healthy.
it's interesting. And of course, with the Kennedys, it's a sentimental sense with, I think, all Americans, right? Especially my generation, just being born before JFK was killed. And then the nation sort of changed. And so with every Kennedy, we're always seem to be looking for that kind of unity. And interestingly, of course, as you've noted, and as I think people are discussing, that this is kind of bringing that about. And yet, even though this is a man who opened talking about the importance of him dealing with censorship and the way that the Democratic Party was trying to shut him down, CNN is now getting roasted online for cutting out his speech. And it's not just the fact that they cut out of his speech in and of itself, because, news happens and you might want to address it. But what's gaining attention is that they did it when I guess they didn't want their viewers to hear a particular part of the message. Here's where they cut out. Listen to this.
Who, like Vice President Harris, has not appeared in a single interview or an unscripted encounter with voters for 35 days.
We've been listening to independent candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. from Phoenix.
They're like, all right, we gotta cut it off right here because he's exposing the whole party. It's honestly, I can't believe it. Like I can't believe this is real. That there's actually money behind this like joke of a vice president and the president, Joe, and it's so bad. It's really bad. Like, they should have put me in there. I think I would have done a lot better, personally. I think anyone would have done a lot better, and this is an absolute joke, is what this is. And I can't believe it's real. It's crazy. It's almost like I'm not even sure if they believe themselves. Like if they are serious, if they're really being serious, if anybody is really being serious about this. Like, are they just all paid or what, you know? Anyway, man, I'm out of here. See you guys tomorrow. Subscribe. Por favor. Goodbye.